Welcome! Every single day we're swimming in this massive digital ocean, from basic websites to these crazy immersive virtual worlds. But what's really going on behind the scenes? Let's break down how all these pieces of our modern media mix actually work.
It all feels so easy, right? You just tap, you swipe, you click, and poof, the content is just there. But have you ever really stopped and thought about what makes a website different from an app, or what the deal is with augmented reality versus virtual reality? Well, that's exactly what we're going to get into.
Okay, so let's start at the very beginning with the absolute foundation of the internet as we know it. We're talking about the good old website. Think of it as the original storefront, the first page in this giant global library.
So at its core, what is a website? It's really just a bunch of files, text, pictures, some code, that live on a computer somewhere called a server. Your web browser's job is to ask for those files and then assemble them all into the web page you see. It's the wide-open, accessible backbone of the internet.
Now, that's different from what you might call a multimedia product. It uses all the same kinds of media, but the key difference is how you get it. This is a program you actually have to install on your computer. Think of an old CD-ROM game, maybe. It's self-contained, not streamed live from the web.
And this is a really important point. Everything we're talking about today, all of it, is built from the same basic stuff, media assets. Photographs, video clips, sound files, graphics. These are like the universal Lego bricks for building any digital experience you can think of.
All right, so we've covered the foundation. Now let's move on to the tools we're interacting with pretty much constantly. Let's talk about the world of apps.
So, unlike websites that you get to through a browser, apps are their own separate little programs that you download and install right onto your device. This usually makes for a faster, more controlled experience, but it also means you're living inside the walled gardens of the app stores.
And what are they for? What aren't they for? Connecting with your friends, playing games, shopping, finding your way around a new city, checking your email. Apps have become these specialized little tools for basically every part of our digital lives.
And social media is just a perfect example of a super popular kind of app. The key thing to get here is the business model. You, the user, create and post all the content, the pictures, the updates, the videos, and the platform makes its money by selling ads that run right alongside it.
Okay, let's step away from the 2D screen for a minute. The next big thing in media isn't just about what you look at. It's about technology that can actually merge with or even completely replace how you see the world around you. Now, this is a big one that trips people up all the time, but it's actually pretty simple when you break it down. Augmented reality, or AR, adds digital stuff to the real world. Virtual reality, or VR, replaces the real world with a totally digital one. So AR enhances reality, VR creates a whole new one.
And I'm willing to bet you have absolutely used AR, maybe without even realizing it. You know those silly filters on Snapchat that put dog ears on your head? That's AR. Seeing a little creature pop up on the sidewalk in Pokemon Go? That's AR too. Or using an app to see how a new couch would look in your living room? Yep, you guessed it. That's AR.
So while AR and VR are definitely a huge part of the future of gaming, the whole idea of interactive digital worlds, well, that's got a much longer history. Let's take a look at how digital games have evolved.
The biggest story here is just how easy it is to play games now. It used to be you needed a dedicated console, right? A PlayStation or an Xbox. But now, you can play on your computer, on a handheld, and of course, on that little supercomputer you carry around in your pocket. With streaming, you don't even need a powerful machine anymore.
All right, last but not least, let's look at how digital tech has totally reimagined one of the oldest forms of media there is, the book.
So the secret sauce for e-readers like the Kindle isn't just that it's a small screen. It's a really unique technology called e-ink. See, your phone's screen shines light out at your eyes, but e-ink works in a completely different way.
And this really gets to the heart of why it's so great. It reflects the light around you, just like a page in a paper book. And that makes it amazing for reading in situations where a normal screen would be totally useless, like, on a sunny beach.
But like any technology, there are trade-offs. That black and white, slower screen is absolutely fantastic for a novel with a lot of text. But it's not so great for things that really depend on bright colors and fancy layouts, like magazines or kids' books with a lot of pictures.
So, we've gone from open websites to these closed-off apps, from simple screens to tech that can literally change your reality. Each one has its own thing it's good at. So the billion-dollar question is, what happens when all of this starts to merge together? What's next? And that right there is the future that's being built as we speak.